Welcome to the Theater of Others podcast. I'm Adam Marple.
And I'm Dr. Budi Miller.
And we're the co-artistic directors of the Theater of Others.
Our goal for this podcast is to build an international community of artists drawn together by a shared curiosity in what role theater has to play in confronting global crisis and creating new, thriving communities.
Each week, we'll peel back the curtain on our own views, debates, and speculations. We invite you to join us in these discussions, even criticize us if need be. Let's find the way forward together.
Hi, Adam.
Hi, Budi.
How you going? Oh, I know. How's your anal allergy?
The study of analysis? Yes.
Of an analysis? Come on, Adam. Jeez.
Ladies and
Why are
gentlemen,
you such
never
a
tell
stick in
Budi.
them? Don't be such a stick in the mud.
Ladies and gentlemen, never tell Budi not to do something because it invariably will happen more.
That
than
means
it
you
would have
want me
happened
to do it.
Nope, that isn't.
Yeah, no means give it a go.
Yeah, exactly. My bad.
You should have known better.
I know. I should have known better. I should have known it was just like, candy to a baby.
I have a question.
Oh, okay.
How do you feel about the Academy Award winners?
Ugh.
Oh,
Genuinely disappointed with the entire evening.
oh,
Yeah. I'm not
wow.
gonna
Do
hide
tell.
that fact.
Do tell. Okay.
Okay. I have seen all of the films with the exception of The Brutalist and A Complete Unknown. Those are the two that I haven't seen yet. Everything else I've seen.
Okay.
I think that
You were upset that Wiki didn't do a sweeping win.
No. I could care less about that movie. I think that Kieran Culkin deserved it. He was very, very good in A Real Pain. I really liked
Who
that
got it?
performance. Kieran Culkin
Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
for A Real Pain. And Best Supporting Actress was...
Hey, Zoe Saldana.
Saldana. No.
Saldana. What?
No.
Did you
I
see that
hated
movie?
film. I hated that film.
What did you hate
Hated
about
that
it?
film. How about the fact that there was only one Mexican in the entire film? It wasn't in Mexican Spanish. They didn't have any Mexican crew members. And the entire country of Mexico hates that film. Yeah, I think it's a shame. A shame that they didn't even try. The dramaturgy on that.
But we got a Dominican winner.
Okay, cool. I mean, she should have gotten it for another film. It's like
Avatar.
No, but like she's a good actress. She's a very good actress. She's
a fantastic
get it.
actress.
But like that film, that's a problematic film. It's a really problematic film, and they weren't going to give that film anything else, so they gave it to her, and that's fine. That's really good. She's a really good actress.
All right. So who did you want to win for Best Supporting?
I can't remember I can't remember the ladies in the category.
Wow, she was that good. You can't remember her.
No, I can't remember who else was there.
Even better.
Like I said, I haven't seen The Brutalist, so I can't assess whether Adrian Brody's performance was Oscar worthy again. That acceptance speech was.
Who do you think should have gotten it?
I haven't seen Timothée Chalamet, but I thought they may give it to him. I don't think there was anybody else. There wasn't anybody I was rooting for.
You weren't rooting for Coleman?
Oh yes, I was. Who I wanted and who was never going to be the case. I love Sing Sing. That was a great film. It was a travesty that Demi Moore didn't get, and that Mikey Madison did.
Can I tell you, I've watched that movie 3 times already.
What, Substance?
Yes.
Or Honora? Yeah.
The Substance. Yeah. I love that film. I love that film. And Yao was when it first came out. Yao was like, I'm going to go see this movie again. I was like, what? And he's like, I need to go see this movie again. He saw it like 4 or 5 times. He said that he loved watching how the audience responded to the film at the end. He's like, it was like a theater of cruelty.
Yeah, it is. It is. It definitely is. But she deserved that Academy Award. I don't know why they didn't give it to her, honestly. Because, like I said, I hated Honora. I thought it was. I didn't see any value in it. I didn't like any of the characters. I could not care less about any of them. It was, I don't know, just bad dramaturgy again. Like, why should I care about this person? Give me some backstory about her. I don't know if she's a good person at all. You know, a bad person. Like, what do I need to know about her other than the fact that she's in a hijink. She's in a caper. Okay, it's a bad situation. Why should I care? But it got best picture, best actress, best writing, best directing,
Best editing.
Oh yeah, he edited it himself. That's true. He also edited it. Yeah, he did everything himself. I was generally just underwhelmed. I really want to see Flow, the Latvian animated feature that beat out Pixar. I want to see that, and I want to see the best documentary, the Palestinian film. Those are the only two things that I came out of that thinking, going like, the rest of this is just going to be crap. I don't know.
And the Tonys.
Did the Tonys already happen?
Aren't they coming up?
I don't know. I don't usually watch.
Aren't we a theater podcast, Adam?
Yeah, but I don't usually watch regional theater award shows. Do you?
Wow.
Broadway is just regional theater. Let's be honest. We know this.
Okay, so why? Why is it regional theater?
Because it's a location. It's New York. Is like, it's like we don't watch the Jeff Awards in Chicago, and we don't watch the Helen Hayes Awards in DC. What's so good about the Tonys? Broadway is not the best of the best. Let's be honest. There are some really great things that happen there, but there's also a bunch of crap.
No, question.
We've seen a lot of crap.
What is the best of the best? So you say the best of the best. What do you say Broadway's not the best of the best? What's better than Broadway? What's the best of the best? And you're not allowed to say Bali, because we already know that.
I've seen some really great work in small rooms.
What room?
With lights on. I saw a really wonderful production of Getting Out the week before last. It was one night only. Nobody was paying for it. Nobody was getting paid. It was just for the love of doing it. And it was one of the best things I'd seen this year, actually. It was a student work. It's fine. Were the actors the right age? No. But there was a lot of heart and a lot of earnestness in it. And it was a lot better staging and creativity than I've seen on Broadway before. I've seen some crap. We know this. Crap rolls in, crap rolls out. And the Tonys are only for Broadway. Theater in New York is vast. And it's only for those 11 theaters that happen to be around 42nd Street.
So it's not for the audience?
The Tonys? Oh, it's for the producers. It's for getting more butts in the seat after you get a Tony. Then more people will come and see the show, or maybe you'll recoup your investment. But I don't know.
So the Getting Out performance that you saw was more for the audience. Yeah,
I think so. Well, first off, it acknowledged that we were there. Our presence was felt. It was necessary.
How'd they do that?
Well, the lights were all on. We were the boundaries of the stage. Our bodies, where we were at, were the boundaries of the stage. The actors sat amongst us. It asked more of us because there were not $1 million sets and 1,000 lights and microphones and an orchestra. It was just what the actors could manipulate with their hands and their imagination. It asked us to be imaginative ourselves. So that's always what I'm going to enjoy a whole lot more.
That's a very interesting topic. I think we should maybe discuss that.
You think so? Is that what you think?
I gave you a hello hanging fruit. Transition.
You did.
Segue.
You did.
Was that not? That was seamless, Adam.
Oh,
Seamless.
yeah, I saw it coming a million miles away. But
Oh,
that's fine.
please, mate. Please. By the way, don't you love my ensemble?
I always love your ensembles.
It's very nice, right? These are Native American, actual Native American, not some white lady doing a Native American. These are actual from the people of the Native Americas.
Okay.
They're animals, see?
Oh, so the segue is taking a segue away from the segue.
Well, I just realized that I hadn't spoken about my beauty.
Okay.
So what are we talking about today, Adam Marple?
Well, we're starting a new series, actually, a whole new
Oh,
series that is going to take us through the rest of almost the year, almost the entire year, uh,
what?
of a topic that we've decided we're kind of going to spend some time in, and this is the series we're calling the Theater as a Way to Life series.
Oh.
And this was prompted, we've been talking around this subject for a long time. And longtime listeners will definitely pick up on a lot of the themes that we've been speaking about for the last 5 years, good God. But the idea of as theater, yeah, but theater as a way to life came from a quote from Tony Award winner Andre de Shields. So I used to have a class at Columbia where we would bring in industry directors. It was literally called visiting directors, and Andre de Shields, who people will most likely know as Hades from Hadestown, said this. He said, people in our profession always say theater is a way of life, but I argue that theater should be a way to life. And that always stuck with me because, yes, of course, theater is, I think he also said theater is like helium in a balloon. It'll take up all the space if you let it. And that's the theater as a way of life mentality versus a theater as a way to life, meaning how can we be better people in our own lives through theater? How can we use theater as a medium to expand ourselves, not to take up all of the space that we already have for ourselves? And I think you and your work has been talking about that for a long time. I've recently made the stupid discovery that the director needs to be everything that the actor needs from an audience as they come into the room, and they have to prepare themselves. And I'm working with my directors here to understand that their preparation isn't just on the paper, but it's themselves as well as that kind of satellite dish for the actor. So we decided to kind of think about, if we were to talk about this for a year, if we were to really break it down and say,
snap.
how could we, what are all the things we could cover? What are all the topics that we need to think about if we're thinking as theater as a portal to self-actualization? So yeah, that's what we're starting with. That's what we're starting on today.
So, like, what happens when theater isn't just about entertainment, but a direct tool for audience self-actualization? How do we structure performances that unlock transformation? How do we do that?
And I think that's what we all should be asking. I think that's going to be, amongst the other things that AI can't do for us, is going to be that kind of conversation. And yeah.
Well, this also goes, Adam. We have to make sure that everyone has the same translation as we have for the Natyastra.
Yeah.
Make sure we release that today.
Yeah.
Because it brings me into our book of the month.
Yes, very good book.
Right, your fave.
I love it. I finished it. I moved on, but I loved it. We're not talking about it. I talked about it too much on the poetics.
We're not going to talk about it, but okay. So, what is the translation? Give me the translation right now. Whose translation are we working with? Because it's actually a very good translation.
Lord, hold on. Let me see if I can.
And then he also has another. He has another book on Sanskrit drama that he's translated a bunch of like Sanskrit plays, which I highly recommend. Dr. Taylor Jamal Barfield, you should be checking out his Sanskrit dramas. What is brother man translator's name before I go into what I wanted to address when it comes to
Give me a second. I gotta find where is it in
the
my
portal
Kindle or
to
is it in my
actualizing self in theater?
Adya Rangacharya?
Yeah, Adya Rangacharya.
Yeah,
His translations
yeah,
are fantastic, and this particular translation of the Natyastra is really fantastic because it awakens a way of looking at theater the way that we do, and you actually can see why the Balinese get inspired as well, because
yeah.
rasa is taksu
Mm-hmm.
for the Indian
Yeah,
aesthetics. Um, and Takshu was influenced by Indian aesthetics. And then we look at the Natyastra, and the first thing that he talks about, and this, as I'm reading this, I'm like, Adam is having a wet dream right now.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
The first thing that he talks about is what, Adam?
Space.
Yep.
The space. Setting the space up.
Yep.
The proper dimensions, where the audience should be sitting, what not to have there, how to focus the audience's attention, the literally the degrees by which a riser should be set up. I mean, it's all, you know. I don't have the actual uh, translation of whatever they're using to inches or feet, whatever. But I can, you know, we can view it, we can understand it, we can understand that space, we can understand why all those things were chosen the way that they were chosen, what they were for, what the purpose of it was for, why all of the um, rituals beforehand were there to again focus all the attention to where it needs to be, to what its purpose is there for. When the audience comes to watch that play, they have no confusion as to why they are there watching that play or what their purpose is in the enactment of the event. They know why they are necessary for this, why it is necessary to do this, and what is going to be the outcome of this. I can't say the majority of the time when I go see theater, I can answer any one of those three, let alone
Mm-hmm.
all of them. And that's the difference.
Yeah, because it's not being asked of you to investigate it.
No, I could be there or I could not be there.
And so I would venture to say that the way that we create a portal for self-actualization in the theater is the audience's proximity to space.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first engagement, right? That's the first contract we make.
Is my presence going to change this somehow? Yes or no? Is the
Mm.
first way the audience knows, do I lean forward or do I lean back?
Mm-hmm. Do I turn my phone on? Do I turn my phone off?
Yeah.
Do I stop talking to the person next to me and focus on what's in front of me or not?
Yeah.
Do I sit in the front row or do I sit in the back row?
Yeah. If I take a nap, will anybody notice? If I'm reading my program, will it affect anything that's happening here? Yeah, it is. It is. Is my presence necessary to the completion of this event, or am I just here to passively consume? Am I just
Which
here
is
to,
entertainment.
which is entertainment? Exactly. There's a story. One of the Columbia grads a couple years above me, Gisela Cardenas, wanted to go and work with Arya Minushkin, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. But of course, she doesn't ever let anybody come and do that. So she tells a story about how, like, okay, she's going to open up a rehearsal for some people to come and watch. She'll answer some questions afterwards, but like she's not, hiring anybody on. And they're rehearsing all day long. This is like a 9-hour rehearsal, some of the most amazing theater they've ever seen. But there was a scene where the actors just weren't quite achieving what they were setting out to do, and they're all sitting there watching. It's been 7 hours they've been rehearsing, And Ari Minushkin turns around and looks at all of those people who would come to watch rehearsal, to come and learn rehearsal, and said, you have to want them to achieve this more than anything else right now. You, the audience, need to be watching this and leaning in and wishing them to get this. And she said every single one of them leaned in and was just exuding energy of just desire. I hope that they can accomplish this. I hope that they can get this thing. I hope that they can crack this nut, whatever is happening. And she said, of course, in that moment, the feeling of the energy going out, the feeling of the energy coming back in, whether it was real or it was not, it was the perception, the placebo effect of that. In that moment, Gisela was just like, oh, that's theater right there. That's exactly why their work is so amazing. Everybody in the world says their work is amazing because it has that feeling of, no, the audience is necessary. We know you're here. We need something from you. We're not just giving you something, you're giving something back to us. And whenever you go to see a work by her company, it feels that way. You walk, you have a meal with the audience beforehand. You walk past Ari Minushkin. The company gives you tea and cookies. You walk through their dressing room. There's a sense of it is precious, but it's also for you. We know you're here. We want you to be engaged. The proximity to us walking through our dressing rooms, the fact that the entire cartoucherie, her theater space, walls can be knocked down, it can be rearranged, whatever the space needs to be in proximity, to be in close communion with the audience. It's a vitally important part of her company and the work, and you can see it in the actors' work. I've seen a couple of their shows, and they're all. I mean, they're on my top 10 best things I've ever seen. Always acting.
So I have a question.
Music.
For the shows you saw, were they all original works?
They were. Yeah.
Because her original work is incredible, but I've also seen her adaptations.
Yeah.
I saw her Macbeth. Which was not good. It was not good at all.
Yeah.
And so, do you think that generating new voices and new material is also part of this conundrum we have?
Yeah, I wonder how much, because I know the way she works as well, and I'm not sure with Macbeth. What was which Asian art form was she using for that?
Well, what was interesting is that we got the introduction with the meal and being served by the actors and interacting with her. Like that was amazing. But so we were already primed. We were primed. We were leaning in, baby.
Yeah.
And then we got this really mediocre, like Macbeth, like at best.
Yeah.
And it's almost as if she was being restricted
by the baggage of the script. Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. Because then you're contending with history, you're contending with, translated language from English to French. Mm-hmm. You're dealing with whatever concept you're going to put on top of that. You're dealing with, there's a lot that, and she certainly can adapt from that, but to do it with the fidelity that I imagine she probably did, or it does kind of go, well, I've got to do this certain thing, and it may not agree with what I'm trying to do. I think we both tend to think that Shakespeare and Chekhov allows for a lot, but maybe not this, maybe not that.
Well, now let's put that up against what the Wooster Group does with Shakespeare.
Completely deconstructing to the point where it's debatable whether it is actually that thing or not.
It's actually Shakespeare, right?
Yeah.
But then but it's uniquely contemporary.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. No doubt.
And do you think they fulfill the role of of an opportunity to have self actualization in their performances?
From an audience just perspective,
Mm-hmm.
no. I think they have taken the alienation effect to its furthest limits, to the point where I'm there, I'm not there. It doesn't change the performance at all. I don't think that they're even aware that we're there. It's one of those things where, like, if you've ever seen a Wooster Group performance and you have the opportunity to sit further down, like as close to the stage as possible, you have an opportunity to look behind yourself a little bit to see the TV screens that the actors are using for their movement and for their moments. I don't even know how to describe it. They're literally watching cartoons, silent movies, and they're imitating those gestures and those movements. So even when they're looking out toward the audience, they're not looking at the audience. Their eyes are glued towards screens that they are. So they don't see me. My presence is not necessary. I am very much a consumer in that regard. I'm engaged intellectually, never emotionally. It's always a fascinating thing to watch their plays. They're always fascinating to watch.
So then is our question an area regarding style?
I don't know. I don't want to say yes or no to that, because it's also an attitude. I don't think that they are interested in that. Just like Richard Foreman wasn't interested in the audience's experience. I think there are companies that don't think about the audience at all, and then there are those who take into account the two-way street nature of theater, the communication, the communion that's going on. Instead of, I don't think that Wooster Group is thinking of what they're doing as entertainment. That's not what they're viewing it as either. I can't speak for them. I don't actually know, but I don't want to say that it's a style factor, because I think that you could do Macbeth and accomplish what it is that we're talking about, self-actualization. I think it's possible too. Give me moments, and I will tell you other Shakespeares where I've felt it. But
I can tell you a Shakespeare, the Hamlet with Peter
Brooks Hamlet.
Yeah, Adrian
Adrian
Lester.
Lennox.
It is. It was Adrian Lester. It was Adrian Lester.
Yeah.
Adrian Lester's, but that's actually a fantastic model to look at, because there was a lot of stuff that was happening in there that was like,
there were some not good things. There were some not good.
There were some not good things, like, and not good being really not good.
Really amateurish. But
yeah, but then you get Adrian Lester, who is like this virtuosic juggernaut. Mm-hmm. His Hamlet was like, and I got to sit on the stage and get his spit and sweat.
So did Joshua Waterstone. He got to sit on. We went together. It was my birthday present from my mom, and she paid like $300 for me to sit in like balcony number 2. Meanwhile, Josh says, "Oh, I'll come along. I'll just do a student rush." Sits on the stage, pays $25.
Yeah, that was me too, and it was amazing. It was amazing. But then, you know, his wife at the time that was playing Gertrude came out, Hamlet, Hamlet, and then the Ophelia, who was the Indian dancer that never spoke a word ever, and now speaking the text of Ophelia.
Yeah.
Oh, that was painful. But then
you got Adrian,
and then you also got
Bruce
the
Myers.
Gravediggers.
That's right, Bruce Myers, an old hero of mine. Yeah.
Don't you have a story?
I do. Yes.
Great tales. You have a story, Adam Marple.
So again, Joshua Waterstone and I were out watching the show. I had read everything by Peter Brook at that point. I was in my Peter Brook fixation.
That's what you do. That's what Adam does.
That was my fixation at that time. I wanted to be Peter Brook Jr. And I read a book called what was it? Travels in Africa. So this was a kind of a diary of their 6-month travel through all of Africa, where they just basically go to a village, unroll a rug, and then just do theater, and then roll it up and go somewhere else. And it was good. It wasn't good. We'll just roll it up and go someplace else. And that's when I learned about this guy named Bruce Myers. Now, I had seen him in the film of the Mahabharata, and I'd heard about him before, but I'd never seen him perform. But I knew he was going to be the gravedigger. And he seemed like a really cool, fascinating kind of guy. Like, he seemed like the only person in the company who was from the kind of same training system that Josh and I were going to go through at the same time. Like, he went to acting school, he did the thing, became,
like Angela Bassett.
Yeah, he was Angela Bassett, exactly. He was the Angela Bassett of his time. Anyway, we saw him in the theater lobby after the show. He was getting a drink, and I think I didn't have the courage to go up and ask him anything, but Josh, who has tons of courage,
and he's taller than you,
and he's taller than me, goes up to him and goes, "Oh, Mr. Myers, beautiful performance, really wonderful. My friend and I were in drama school. Do you have any advice for young aspiring actors going into the industry soon?" And he said, "Yeah, you." And of course, to two young boys who grew up playing D&D and doing all this, his analogy was perfect for us. He said, a knight would never go onto the field of battle without his suit of armor on. And all of your training and your preparation is that suit of armor. But the knight has to take off his suit of armor when he goes home. It has to be a human again so that he can go back into the battle the next day. Never forget that there's a human in that suit of armor. And we're like, wow, oh man, oh, that's fantastic.
I can see the two of you. I can totally see the two of you, like, and then leaving like, oh my God, can you believe that happened? Oh my God.
Write it down real quick. Let me write it down real quick. Yeah. That was.
This is a sign. This is a sign.
Yeah. And I would go and see many other Peter Brook plays over the years, and it was all downhill from there.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got to see that. Glad I got to see that production though, because Adrian. This is. Hamlet's soliloquies are direct addresses to the audience. There's an acknowledgement inherent in that of I see you. You need to be here. If you're not here, I don't have anybody to talk to, and I won't be able to figure this problem out. So that's why I don't think it's necessarily a play problem. Maybe it's a style problem, but I think it's more of a perception or a desire by the theater makers problem of I don't want them to be self-actualized. I don't even know what that means to be self-actualized. I'm here to present a problem and the audience takes it away, or I'm here to entertain, or I'm here to 1,000 other things that are not those things of self-actualization and acknowledgement.
Well, it was Shakespeare that said all the world is a stage and we are merely its players. So this is a great segue into the other part of the question that we have for today is, what does it mean to have theater as a way of life?
As a way of life or a way to life?
As a way to life, excuse me, a way to life.
I think it is about acknowledging what it is that this medium can do that other things can't do. In that, let's compare film and television in this respect. Similar situation. You're walking into a dark space and you're going to sit down. There will be other people there, although this medium is now handheld and can be paused and walked away and gone to the bathroom anytime you want to. But if you go to the cinema, if you actually go to a movie theater, the experience is not the same, but it's parallel to the theater going experience in terms of the spaces are mostly the same. It is a proscenium. You are sitting in an audience. The lights are off. You're supposed to be quiet. You're supposed to passively bring in, laugh out loud, certainly, but have all the focus there. But what is different with the film theater and the theater, REER, is that You can go see a film on a Tuesday afternoon at 2 p.m. and you can be you and 4 other people in the audience.
Mm-hmm.
But that is inherently not going to work for theater. You need a mass of people. You need a collective community.
Well, okay,
created.
so let's talk about. Wow, wow, Adam.
Oh,
Wow, you're just taking me to those days when, early on in the career where the audience were 3 people, 4 people.
yeah.
Early on in the career when there wasn't an audience to play to, but only a few.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Adam, it just changes the transmission of information.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it less
No.
effective.
No, not at all. But if there are 3 people in a movie theater, it doesn't change the film at all.
Correct.
If there are 3 people in a theater, it absolutely changes the dynamic of the room. The actors
Correct.
have to work harder, right? We know this. Everybody's done that Sunday matinee. Everybody knows what that performance is like. So it changes, and you adapt to it. And really good performers are able to, okay, I got 3 people here today. I'm going to give these 3 people the best I can give, hoping that they will also give the best that they can give back, and then adjusting from there. But what I mean by collective is, three people, unless they're there together, don't a community make. They're probably
But
sitting...
in Singapore, a mob,
a mob is more than 2. It's true. It's very true. But what I mean is like having a community to be formed, meaning that this play will present a problem, because it does. It presents a society in the flux of change. You, the audience, are also a society, and we're going to present a society to another society, and you will collectively come up with something. Now, it's not collectively in terms of like actively being done, but you being next to a stranger, unless you're sitting with 2 other friends, you're going to be sitting next to a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean to sit next to a stranger amongst other strangers, to hear other people laugh at things that maybe you don't find funny, or laugh with you when you do find it funny? You find commonalities, you find differences, but you are collectively a thing for a while. You lose your individuality for a split moment, for 2 hours time, and you come in and you are collectively audience. And scientists have done this. The breathing syncs up. Audiences' breathing syncs up with each other, and it syncs up with the actors as well. So what does it mean to come in, to lose identity and individuality for just a little while and say, I'm going to spend 2 hours not thinking about me and think about other, and the other of this audience? Because we know this. You go in and out of a play. Somebody moves their head or somebody coughs. It takes you out. It reminds you, oh, I'm not there like I am in a film. I'm here, but I'm also there, but I'm also here. That's a really cool thing that happens in a theater that doesn't happen in a TV show. It doesn't, like, I'm always in my living room. I can pause it. I can go to the bathroom. I can go make myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, come back in, restart it. Oh, I'm going to take it back 10 seconds.
Because you were always making yourself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I will eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich to the day I die. Yes.
Is that on the menu for your for your death row? Peanut butter.
You know what? Final meals.
It?
Yeah, final.
Is that your final meal?
It won't be. It would be amongst the many other things I want to eat so much that when they kill me, I explode. That's what I want to have happen.
So you want peanut butter and jelly. You want burritos. You want Taco Bell. Do you want Taco Bell burrito?
Taco Bell. Yep. I want
Shake Shack.
Shake Shack. Jack was eating a banh mi. I'll take a banh mi and some pho. I want xiaolong bao. I could go on and on. This is. I want a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit from McDonald's.
That's enough to make me want to kill somebody.
I know, right? It's a food.
So why did you do it? For the last meal. For the last supper.
I was told that you would get me anything for my last meal.
Maybe if you get them, they have to keep buying things, they won't have time to kill you.
Exactly.
Why are they late? They're still trying to source Adam's Xiaolong Bao. He wants to make sure it's soupy. He said it wasn't soupy enough.
They're butter poaching his porterhouse right now. He's going to be a while. God.
So I like this whole world of audience interaction and audience participation and acknowledgement of the audience. And I love this scientific data around the breath syncing up.
Yeah.
Because that's my world, as you know.
Of course.
How you breathe is how you think, right?
Yeah.
And I just think of like the concept of to life. Breathing to life. Theater to life. So if you were able to just change the name theater to breathing together. Let's breathe together. Let's change our breath together. Yeah. Let's hold our breath together. Mm-hmm. Let's have a pitter-patter of breath together. What a great provocation for a director. Mm-hmm. To have that be the actual provocation is, I'm going to direct a show based upon how I want the audience to breathe at each moment. And it's going to be in relationship to how the actors are breathing.
I have been thinking this for a while, and this is draft statement. And I'm still working on it. I think if Stanislavski were to have time traveled in his life and come to 2025, he would look at the theater and say, "Oh, it's 100 plus years later, and it looks basically the same. Nothing has really changed. There's more lights. Subject matter is mostly still domestic drama, mostly." The theater spaces look exactly the same. Nothing has really changed. I think, again, draft statement here, I think that the way that we make theater, and I'm talking just from a director's perspective right now, a director directs a show, and they spend all their energy on directing that show. And they're never taking into account the audience's breathing. I think moving forward, it's going to have to be taken into account.
I think so too.
Yes, you have to direct a show, but you also have to do something with the audience, that you're responsible for that crowd. You have to change them bodily. You have to change them mentally. You have to change them psychically. You have to change them emotionally. That's also your responsibility. The play is the thing that brought them there, and the journey of the play will do a lot of the heavy lifting for you, but you also have to create the experience where breathing is acknowledged and asked. The audience is asked something of them. There's a reason why people have loved immersive experiences. Mm-hmm. That if you ask somebody to do something, they'll most likely do it, because they're wanting more than just, "Oh, you want me to sit here? So I came from my job where I was sitting all day long, and now you want me to come here and sit for 2 hours and look over there. Okay, I could have done this at home. I could sit at home and look over there, and I can get up and go, and I don't have to have pants on. I can eat a peanut butter jelly sandwich."
I think pants is questionable. I think you could do a pantsless audience venture.
You could have a an audience pantsless Tuesdays, like a relaxed performance.
Wow.
Pantsless Tuesday.
Can we do a Theater Brothers Pantsless Tuesdays?
It also doubles as a dating app night. Yeah. Pantsless Tuesdays.
It's the no trouser Tuesdays. The NTTs.
Trouserless Tuesdays.
Trouserless Tuesdays.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Zakina will love that.
Yeah.
Akshay would love that. Akshay hates pants.
He hates pants. Love showing off them legs,
Them legs.
them long, slender legs.
Them long, slender limbs. Them hams. Show them hams off.
Show them hams off. Exactly.
You have got nice legs, Adam. You've got very nice legs.
I don't show them a lot, but I do have nice.
I know, and when you reveal them, people go, "Look at those legs! He's got legs,
muscular legs." Yeah,
yeah, and those little dainty toes of yours. That could be your ticket into the theater.
Show me your toes.
Let me see your feet.
Yeah. We don't kink shame here. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's what we need.
Okay, well, as you know, these provocations we give ourselves are provocations for us to open up the conversation.
Of course. For the,
right?
I mean, this is the start of the conversation. This is number 1 of what we have, like 20 of these.
But so how do we? But okay, so there was one question that we didn't answer or attempt to just talk around was,
okay,
how do we structure performances that unlock transformation?
Well, I think you were hitting on it. I think it is if you can. I'll give an example. When we when we were locked down in the pandemic and we were doing our show, we watched a lot of really bad Zoom theater where people still didn't understand what this medium was. Mm-hmm. How to, like, do I look straight in the camera and like I'm talking to the other actor? Do I look over here and we put, another actor over here? Do I project and look over there like I'm talking in an audience? And none of it worked because it didn't acknowledge the fact that right now you're in Melbourne, I'm in Winston-Salem, and we're looking at each other, and it's tomorrow for you and it's today for me, and you have daylight outside, I've got nighttime outside, and we're here but we're also not here. But what we can do is we can be closer together, we can do things to connect more, and we acknowledged the audience from, like, you were directly looking in the camera talking to those people. We brought them out, we led a meditation, we asked them to do things. And I think that was what the success of that show was, all of the setup for that of, like, one, we wanted to be seen more than anything else in the pandemic. We really wanted to be acknowledged as human beings. But also, like, oh, this is not something for me to passively sit back and I can walk away from. I am here. My presence is necessary. They're asking me to do things. They're setting me up to be in the proper spiritual mindset or bodily mindset. It is all the ritual that we talk about with the Natya Sastra. All of that ritual that happens beforehand is understood, and there's a reason for it, and everyone understands that. And the show cannot go on until all of the stage has been cleaned, all of the stage has been prayed for, all of the stage has been, blessed, and now we can do the show. And it's the sense of, I don't know what it is, but I know that it's important, and because I know it's important, this has importance. Mm-hmm. I don't know all of, I've been to Bali, I think it was 26th time this last year. 26 times I've been to Bali. You've taken me
really
to, I counted, yeah.
26 times?
26 times, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So I've seen a lot of the rituals. You've taken me to all the temples. I've seen all the performances. I still don't know a lot of those things, but I know that there's importance behind it, and I know the show's not going to go on until it goes on. And it's the pointing at it. It's the priests pointing at that thing. It's the performers pointing at that thing. It says, this is important. That makes me go, oh, that's importance. That has importance. And because it has importance, I want to lean into it. I want to find out what that is. I think,
but also that also opens up into the realm of not knowing, the invisible realm.
Yeah.
Right. So the things we do have control over, we make an offering, and the things that we don't have control over, because we've made an offering with the intentions of, please accept this offering and forgive me for my mistakes.
Yeah. I think having that meditation before Limb from Limb is what set up everything else afterwards. Nobody's ever asked me to breathe or acknowledge my own breathing in a show.
We needed that during COVID as well.
We needed it during COVID for sure. We couldn't have done any show without that. But that moment was a special moment because, like, I mean, if you think about it, I love going back and looking at it. Like, the show was an hour and a half long. At least 35 minutes of that show was just the preparation for the show, which was actually part of the show as well. But like,
right,
the lighting of the candle, the talking, the getting ready, the
where's Chad?
Where's Chad? 35 minutes of the show is just getting everybody ready for the show.
So we've already done Godot.
Right.
Waiting for Chad.
Where's Chad? Where's Chad? Yeah.
We were waiting for Chad.
But I think that way of unlocking the audience is maybe it's not just about breathing. Maybe there's other ways, but let's just use this analogy of breathing. How do we get everyone breathing together, acknowledging their breath, breathing in tandem with each other, setting up the circumstances where we don't have to make everybody breathe in tandem, that they naturally do. I was thinking of the last performance of Sleep No More that I saw. I forgot how much running there can be. And I'm wearing cowboy boots all the time. And I'm certainly not the spring chicken that I was when I saw it 15 years ago, running up and down those stairs. But we were all huffing and puffing. Every single one of the audiences, we were breathing together. Without even,
it's one of my favorite images. Those masks and the one mask turns, another mask turns, and then they all turn like ducks, and then they all scurry away like ducks. Yeah. It's the funniest image ever. Oh my god, it's so funny.
Yeah,
so funny.
So there are ways to set up those circumstances where everybody acts or reacts similarly to remind them of, oh yeah. You see that all the heads turn. It's like, oh, I'm part of an audience right now. I'm not an individual. I'm a part of a group. Oh, okay. Well, if I'm part of a group, then it's not just about me and my feelings. It's about, oh, they've got feelings as well. I wonder what they're feeling. I wonder what they're here for, what they do before that, or all that. And then it opens up and it becomes more expansive and larger.
I mean, when we were like the candy jars, like in the bar, like the raiding the candy together, it's like when we first saw it, it was like we're watching it, okay, but then you see somebody behind the bar digging in the candy, like, what, we can go and dig in the candy? Amazing. That show was fantastical. Adam Marple, I think we should take a break and come back with provocations. What do you think?
Okay. I think that sounds like a good plan.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, non-binary conforming individuals, you're listening to the stereo sounds of my daughter, JDB. Jack David Burmester. We're back. Wow, Jack. Okay. I'm feeling a bit transformed. I'm feeling like that's a way to theater. That's a way. Definitely. Okay, Adam. Where are provocations? You guys have provocations?
I would love to expand on this. So we've talked about audience breathing. What are other ways of unlocking the audience's acknowledgement of themselves in that moment? What are other ways that you can think of, or that you have even experienced as an audience member, or if you've made theater that you've helped create, ways in which the audience becomes aware of themselves? Like, I think of that moment in Chorus Line when they turn those mirrors around and the audience can see themselves. That beautiful moment where they're all holding their headshots up and the mirrors are turned around. So you simultaneously are dealing with them as performer, actor, and yourself as audience observer. What are other ways that you think of where the audience becomes aware of their audienceness? And how can that be built? How can that be created? How can we create the scenario, the situation wherein a whole is formed, a community is formed, a group, a society is formed? That's what I think unlocking the audience's potential is. Empathy.
That's fantastic.
I'd love to hear that. That's what I want to hear.
I'd love to hear that as well. I'm just going to add on to this. I would love to hear from those who feel like it's not necessary for theater to awaken the audience's potential. I want to hear from y'all that are like, okay,
come at
but
me, bro.
I just want to go have a good time. I just want to have a good time.
Let's have an argument.
We're living in a time when people are not getting along. So if you're smart enough to be listening to this podcast, but you have a different opinion, I would love to hear it. I love it when y'all come at us. It's so fun to have an open dialogue around these things that we talk about, theater and les autres shows. Adam Marple, how we gonna know that these people don't do this? Then when they're gonna do that?
They're gonna go to speakpipe.com/theater of others. Speakpipe.com/theater of others. Theater with an R-E. Theater of others, all one word. Leave a 90-second voice message on there. We'll be so happy to play it on air. We also take emails at podcast@theaterofothers.com.
We take them.
We do. We are also on the socials of the media.
We are on the socials, and Genevieve is killing it.
Yeah, she is. Thankfully, somebody is taking over that. I don't want to have anything to do with it. So if you want to message us there, Genevieve will be happy to send those things over.
Genevieve will get up on it.
And the only way they're going to know about the topics of this theater as a way to life every single week is to do what do they need to do?
We come to your inbox early. Yeehaw! Yes. For 5 years, we have been podcasting every single week, sometimes twice a week. Remember those days we used to do twice a week, Adam Marple?
Monday and Thursday. Boy, oh boy.
Ooh, low. We had them. We had the Thursday knee conversations.
Yep.
So there's a lot of content for you all to catch up on, and also to stay in the know, the canoe.
Yeah, exactly.
But you gotta subscribe.
Yeah.
And if you really like us, you can do like my Uber driver and give me 5 stars. Give Adam 5 stars. Give us 5 stars. We'll give you 5 stars. Give us 5 stars.
Yeah.
5 stars. It's a zero-sum win that mother tucking game. Okay. 0. Some win. Some don't win. But we all win in the end. Game. We're going to gain it. We're going to game it. Okur. And then if you really like us, you can leave us a little note. I'm going to say, oh my God, Budi looks so beautiful in his accessories today. Adam Marple, I'm wearing the very first shirt that I ever bought in Melbourne at a vintage shop in the gayest part of town, Fitzroy. Isn't it beautiful?
Oh, there's unicorns.
Yes, honey. You know why? Because I'm a unicorn. Okay. I'm a unicorn. Oh.
Okay.
So leave a comment and say, oh my God, he's wearing unicorns. It goes into the algorithm. And then we go from the top 5% podcast in the world to the top, 1% podcast in the world, Adam Marple.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who's coming if we're number one.
I do.
Mm-hmm. Oprah. Yes, that's who's coming because she love her number ones. She love her number ones. And you know who's coming if Oprah comes? Beyonce. Yes, honey, Miss Beyonce. Hey. And then you know who's coming if Beyonce comes, because you know they always come together. They come as twos.
Michelle Obama.
Michelle Obama. Okay, yes, Miss Michelle Obama. Hey, yes. And because she got time now, she got time. We're at 2028. We're working on 2028. Who's coming? Mamala. 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 Come on a podcast, Miss Mamala. We got your back. Because you know, if you go on a podcast, people will vote for you. Hello, telling you, the world. How many countries do we distribute to Adam Marple?
96 as of last count. Maybe more.
96 countries. Wow. Well, I guess we got to come back next week then.
We got to be here every single week. We got so much. We got so many amazing guests and so many things to talk about. Our book club. Yeah, you got to be here for it.
I mean, it's slamming. It's jamming. It's jamming on the one. I love you, Adam.
I love you too.
And for all of y'all, we'll be in your inbox next week. Bye!
Thanks for joining us this week on the Theater Brothers podcast. Make sure to visit our website, theaterbrothers.org, where you can subscribe to the show in iTunes, Stitcher, or via RSS, so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. A special thank you to Purple Planet for the music you've heard. The Theater Brothers creates a shared community of artists and audiences for the purposes of exploring the most profound issues of our lives and times. We believe the play watches the audience. The audience is necessary, and they are witness to what happens. And you get to be witness to us making that happen. The purpose of this podcast is to open up our process and let you in. We're peeling back the curtain, so to speak, and encouraging you to follow along, to ponder, prod, and question. To join us and criticize us if need be. Being a witness is no passive task and requires much from you. Are you up for the journey? Be sure to tune in next week for our next journey.